that there's lots of Mike Huckabees out there, but there's only one that has gotten to this level of power, scary enough. Ted Cruz tried, but everyone kind of sees through him at this point, thank God.
Everyone hates Ted Cruz.
Yeah, I think everyone hates Ted Cruz.
Everyone hates Ted Cruz.
But everybody should hate this man as well.
They'd have thought about the implications. Hamas walked away from the negotiations to let the hostages go.
That's not true.
That's not true.
It's not true.
Who broke
It's
the
not true.
ceasefire?
Really given the Israelis a new sense of saying, well, if we're going to be forced into something that goes against Oslo, and I don't know why people don't understand that.
First of all, to me, it's so freaking treasonous with that flag. Like
The flag and the pin. Like, is he kidding? He represents Americans.
Not really.
Every time I see
He
that
doesn't.
pin,
So that's
I
the thing.
wanna
He doesn't
rip
see
it.
that.
Well, that's what I mean. He's supposed to
Yeah.
represent Americans. The office of ambassador to Israel is representing Americans, not Israelis. He doesn't.
unbelievable.
American interests, which again, if he were truly representing American interests, he would have actually said, actually, we're going to pack it up and go home here because we have no interests. Nothing Israel does serves the interests of the American people. And so we should sever ties. Personally, I mean, that's what I would do if I were given that post, you know? But
I saw the terrorist attack this morning. I think it was this morning, right? And I was just like, oh God, like, of course, they're all going to come out and be like, you know, the worst thing that ever happened. I'm like, they killed 5 Palestinians the last hour, but nobody, like, I mean, the bald, just blatant, like, disregard of some lives over others. It's just, it's so disgusting. But I do think the majority of people are starting to see through it. You know, this like selective outrage. I mean, we've lived through 2 years of, you know, this happening to Palestinians every hour.
Well, that's why the
Again,
America First movement is going to evolve. Like it's going to evolve.
Yeah. You know, I posted about this morning. The city of Chicago had 18 people shot, 5 people killed. And you will not see a member of this administration talking about that today. But they will talk about this mass shooting. And I don't even call it a terrorist attack. I call it a mass shooting. We have those in America. They're very sad. We should do the things that we need to do to try to prevent those from happening.
But the Hasbara has to put out there that they're terrorists.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But of course, it's never the terrorists, raiding the West Bank every single freaking weekend, lighting homes on fire, lighting cars on fire. It's never a terrorist attack. Then it's just a matter of domestics, criminal, regular run-of-the-mill criminal activity from rogue agents or criminals in general. But then, of course, when it's Palestinians that reverse it, then it's terrorism, right? Yeah. One side has criminals, the other side has terrorists. And that's all basically, I mean, and that's how they write the script and that's how they sell it to the American people. Anytime Israel is attacked, it's attacked by terrorists. Anytime Israelis attack, they're just criminals who aren't actually, they're acting on their own accord and they don't, we shouldn't judge Israel by them.
Jen, what's your famous saying about terrorism?
Well, one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter.
Of course.
Unilaterally declaring a Palestinian state is a violation of the Oslo Accords. That
the violation was declaring Israel a state in 48. That was the violation. Like, that's so, like, this is infuriating to me.
Now Israel's talking about
infuriating.
Just so
declaring
everybody
sovereignty
knows
over more.
Just so everybody knows, the General Assembly opened today. Of the UN General Assembly. The high-level debates start on the 23rd of September. They'll go from the 23rd to the 29th. Israel is scared shitless that Great Britain, France, and Canada are going to recognize a Palestinian state. It is literally their worst nightmare, and they are going to be pulling out all of the stops for the next 2 full weeks.
Yeah.
This is just the start. It is going to we're going to want to punch we're going to want to throw our phones. Probably.
Oh yeah, basically did that this morning when I saw all the tweets about how terrible the terrorists are and how we support Israel.
I think we need to look out for the false flags that are going to be coming like all over between now and then, because that's what they're going to have to do. That's the kind of crap that they pull.
Parts of Judea and Samaria. So whatever the thought was, no matter how noble it may have seemed, it has had disastrous consequences that have proven to do exactly opposite of what many of the European countries have thought would be a great idea.
Ugh. It's infuriating to
Yeah.
me. It's so infuriating to me.
He had his own daughter go through that humiliation ritual. Well, he made her the governor of Arkansas too. So, you know, all that nepotism, it really runs wild in politics, doesn't it?
It does, and it's very frustrating when you start to look at. For me, you know, I really like to look at what is the governor doing, and of course, what we know with Arkansas in particular is that they actually doubled down on Israeli bonds against the advisement of their own financial advisors for their state pension funds, right? So this is something that New York State and I believe it was New Jersey, they pulled out. Why? Because the returns suck. The returns on investment suck for Israeli bonds. And so what we actually saw, right, because, and this is very interesting if you're a conservative and everything, it was like, oh, we're not going to do any more of these DEI investments, right? We're not, everything's got to be able to produce a return, the highest amount for our investors. You know, of course, these are state pension funds, right? We need the highest amounts possible. Right. And except we've got a little caveat when it comes to the state of Israel, which I believe their return is something like 1.8% or some crap like that. So New York and New Jersey pulled out. They said, yeah, you guys just start giving us back what we need, and we're not going to renew these investments. Arkansas, in particular, under the leadership of what is her name?
Sarah Huckabee.
Sarah Huckabee. Yes, this past June they doubled down and they upped their buy of Israeli bonds. So, and this was, they overrode their financial advisement board. Okay, that's how nuts this is.
Yeah. But and you know, it's interesting. But did you see that the Methodist Church was the first church to divest? I thought that was pretty nice to see that. And you know, I'm not surprised it was the Methodists. You know,
Catholics might
chill
get up there
group.
next. So I want people to remember, and this is a habit we need to make more of, just like we call him David APAC, man. We really need to stop referring to him as Netanyahu. He is Milikowski. The whole concept of Zionism, as Jenin knows better than anybody, is a lie. It is a complete lie, and it is done to completely whitewash a history of indigenous people. And no one has done that better than this piece of shit.
They call themselves Netanyahu, but it's just a stolen name, a Hebrew mask plastered over a European exile's face. His real name was Milikowski, born of Ashkenazi lineage from Poland. Benjamin Netanyahu has neither the blood, nor the land, nor the language of those he claims to represent. His Judaism is not that of the shepherds of Hebron, nor the poets of Jaffa. It is the Judaism of a colonizer from elsewhere who put on the prophet's robe to hide the scent of ashes. Because what he represents today is not a people, it is a machine. A political, military, ideological machine, a machine of steel and contempt. Netanyahu didn't grow up on the banks of the Jordan. He grew up in the salons of New York's conservative elite and the ultra-nationalist sermons of his father, Ben Zion, the hardline Zionist historian.
All fair.
Yeah.
Although I do take, you know, technically, I believe that they were friends with the elite Democrats of New York. I believe he used to sleep in the bedroom of the Kushners.
They was also very good friends of mine, and he came to the White House quite a few times when I was president. Yeah. So, you know, can't forget about that.
You do the voices quite well. I like it.
Yeah.
It's yeah, no, but again, as we know in the U.S., it's just one party, right? It's
no, we always talk about that. It's the same. Right. We have the uniparty. It's like a unibrow verse. Yes, because we can't wax it.
Can't thank Israel enough for exposing it all.
He never spoke Arabic. He never shared bread with a Palestinian. He never had to bury a child beneath the rubble of an Israeli airstrike. He is not from this land. He took it. And yet He decides. He demolishes. He signs the orders. Today, under his rule, Gaza is a graveyard for children. Rafah, a field of ruins. Jenin, a ghost town.
Yeah. I feel bad just because technically, like, he and I share heritage, right? Like, my family are Ashkenazi Jews from Poland, Austria, Russia, like that it was Prussia.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I don't want to claim that. But one thing I do know is he's not a Semite. See, I find it so entertaining that the non-Semitic people are so concerned with anti-Semitism, and yet they're the only people that don't like the Semites. If they like the Semites, then they'd be leaving them alone. Like that's what's so absurd to me.